In this video, I'm going to explain when we use whether or if in English and why you need to know both. Are you ready? Hello and welcome to English with Greg. In today's lesson, we're going to first look at situations where whether and if mean the same thing, and we can use them interchangeably. We're then going to look at some common situations where we always use if, some common situations where we always use whether, and finally, situations where we must use the right one. Because if we use if instead of whether, or whether instead of if, we change the meaning of the sentence. So first, let's have a look at some situations where whether and if are interchangeable. And when I say interchangeable, it means you can use if, you can use whether, it doesn't matter, they're both correct, and the meaning doesn't change. So let's have a look at some examples. I called the restaurant to see if it was open. I called the restaurant to see whether it was open. Here, these two sentences mean exactly the same thing. We can use if, we can use whether, and the only real difference is that if you want to be a little bit more formal, you can use whether. I wonder if it will rain tomorrow. I wonder whether it'll rain tomorrow. Again, they mean exactly the same thing, but if you want to sound a little bit more formal, use whether. The most important thing here is that yes, if and whether are completely interchangeable, so you can use whichever you prefer. Now, we only use if in conditional sentences. The first conditional, second conditional, third conditional. This is where we have two parts of the sentence, if, and then a situation, and the second part of the sentence is the result. For example, if it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home. If it rains tomorrow, that is the condition. The result is, I will stay at home tomorrow. If I won the lottery, I would buy a new car. Again, the condition is if I won the lottery. This is the second conditional. I would buy a new car. That's the result. So in these conditional sentences, we always use if, not whether. So when do we have to use whether? Well, we use whether when there are two options. And we don't have to actually specify the two options when we're speaking, but if it is known that there are two options, we use whether. Let's have a look at some examples. So an obvious one with two options, I don't know whether he prefers tea or coffee. I don't know whether he prefers tea or coffee. Here the two options are tea and coffee, so we use whether. I don't know whether he wants a cup of tea. I don't know whether he wants a cup of tea. Here the two options are yes, he wants a cup of tea, and no, he doesn't want a cup of tea. I'm not specifying both options, but we know that there are two options, so we use whether. I don't know whether he wants a cup of tea. He can't decide whether he should accept the job. He can't decide whether he should accept the job. Again, we have two options. He should accept the job. He shouldn't accept the job. He can't decide. So we use whether. Okay, there are two other grammatical situations where we use whether. One is where it comes directly before an infinitive. For example, have you decided whether to go to university? Have you decided whether to go to university? Whether to go. Because we have to go, we need the word whether before that infinitive. It's incorrect to say, have you decided if to go to university? I don't know whether to ask him. I don't know whether to ask him. Again, to ask, that's the infinitive, so we put whether before the infinitive. And as with the previous example, if we say, I don't know if to ask him, that is incorrect. And the other grammatical construction where we need whether is after a preposition. For example, I'm thinking about, that's a preposition, about whether to accept the job. I'm thinking about whether to accept the job. Because it comes after a preposition, we need whether. And it would be incorrect to say, I'm thinking about if to accept the job. Our plans depend on preposition. Our plans depend on whether it is hot. Our plans depend on whether it is hot. Okay, in this final little section, we're looking at situations where we can use whether and we can use if, but they have separate meanings. So let's have a look at what I mean here. Let me know whether you need help. Let me know if you need help. So as we said previously, we use whether when we are presenting two options. So let me know whether you need help. Here I am telling you to let me know yes or no. Do you need help or don't you need help? They are the two options, and I'm saying let me know which option is correct. Let me know whether you need help. In this situation, I need an answer from you. However, in the second option, let me know if you need help, this is a conditional. If you need help, only if you need help, only if the answer is yes, you need help, let me know. So in this situation, I only want an answer from you if the answer is yes, you need help. Can you see the difference? It's quite small, but it's an important difference. Another example to see this small difference is, tell me whether you're feeling better, or tell me if you're feeling better. So again, in the first option with whether, I'm presenting two options and I want you to tell me option A, you're feeling better, or option B, you're not feeling better. And in the second example, tell me if you're feeling better. Here, I only want you to speak to me if that condition is true, if yes, you are feeling better. Okay, we have one more expression using whether, and that is the expression whether or not. Whether or not. And this basically means regardless of whether. Regardless of whether. Let's have a look at some examples and it will be much clearer. I will go to the concert tonight whether or not my car is fixed. So here it means, yeah, it doesn't matter if yes, my car is fixed or no, my car isn't fixed. None of that is important because regardless of all that, I'm going to the concert. I'm going to the concert whether or not my car is fixed. We can also say whether my car is fixed or not. And a common expression is I'm going to the concert whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. That means I don't care. I don't care about these two options. You like it, you don't like it. That's not important to me. I'm doing it regardless. So if you're not expressing this regardless of whether, if you're not expressing the fact that you don't care about the two different options, then we don't use whether or not. We simply use whether. Like, I've been wondering whether or not to sign up for the course. No, we don't need or not there. I've been wondering whether to sign up for the course. That's correct because we're presenting two options. Yes, I sign up for the course. No, I don't. If we say, I've been wondering whether or not to sign up for the course, that's incorrect. If you've enjoyed this grammar lesson on the difference between two confusing pairs of words, then I've made a playlist for you where you can watch other similar lessons. Click there to watch it now, and I think you'll also like that video down there too. Have a good week, and bye for now.